While I was here for training, I had a chance to reconnect with an old friend, Atakorn, who invited me out for an evening game at Nostramo. Now Nostramo holds a bit of history for this channel. It's where I last rolled dice for bolt action when lost in Bangkok. Some of you might remember the battle report from Pavlov's house, an absolute epic. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you'd like to check it out. But for now, let's head inside, meet Atakorn, and see what armies and what table he has prepared for us this evening.
Oh wait, remember hex, that's going slow.
Oh, okay. Yep, so I got it.
Alright guys, so this is my friend Atakorn. With time a little tight, he'd put together a 750 point friendly game for us, set in the ruins of Berlin and played out on a smaller 4x4 foot table, which you're seeing here from the edge he ended up taking. That square structure on the top left isn't terrain, by the way. It's a cemetery style dice tray for the Fallen Order dice, but more about that later in the game. Atakorn had prepared both armies in advance. His Soviet force came in at 8 order dice, and apologies, they're not all quite in their correct positions here, the dice I mean. But from left to right, we've got an MMG team, a single platoon commander, and a KV-2 heavy tank, all rated as inexperienced. Backing them up were 2 regular rifle squads, each with an LMG, alongside 2 veteran engineer squads, both equipped with flamethrowers and absolutely loaded with SMGs. The force also included an inexperienced gas truck for mobility. To make things work at this level, Atakorn had slightly bent the standard platoon rules to fit in some more of the heavier hardware. As for my Germans, I fared with 7 order dice, a regular forward artillery observer, 2 regular rifle squads, each with an LMG and a Panzerfaust, and a single veteran officer, a veteran Stug, and 2 veteran squads armed with assault rifles. Let's see how this game unfolds. Atakorn kept the mission simple, by the way. Control the central building at the junction, and if there were no enemy units within 3 inches to contest it, victory was yours. For my deployment, I kept things cautious. The only unit visible from Atakorn's side was my forward artillery observer, positioned high on the objective, ready to call down a barrage as the Soviets advanced. Everything else was kept out of sight. Infantry tucked in behind ruins and buildings, deployed centrally to deny early targets and ensure I could react quickly once the fighting began. My 2 regular rifle squads, each with their Panzerfaust and LMG, anchored the flanks, while my veteran units held central positions behind the central building, ready to push in when the moment was right. The Stug, however, was a different story. I deployed it more aggressively, right out on the road. With the KV-2 having that slow loading rule, and unlikely therefore to act first, and with my Panzer Ace crew giving me the edge, I felt confident I could come out on top in any tank duel. In typical Soviet style, Atakorn came out hard and fast, aggressive across his line. The gas truck surged forward, delivering an engineer squad straight towards my left flank, with regulars close by in support. Across the table, his forces pushed into the ruins opposite the objective, that large KV-2 grinding forward to back the advance. I reacted quickly, pulling my right flank in under cover, shifting towards the center to reinforce before his left hook could land, hoping to pin him in the ruins marked by the cross on the map. With a KV-2 still out of range, I took the opportunity to push my Stug forward, lining up his regulars as they crossed the open ground. The shot landed and pinned them, but not hard enough. Despite the fire, that squad kept moving, racing and screaming through the ruins to close the distance. By the end of turn 2, I was starting to feel the pressure. As you can see here from Atakorn's side of the table, you can see that pressure building, his veteran engineer squad, flamethrower in hand, advancing with real intent on my left. That was a problem I needed to solve, and quickly, before my line went up in flames. Turn 3, however, took a slightly unexpected turn. Atakorn drew the first 2 order dice. That meant that his regulars first of all could move into the ruins, no longer exposed in the open against my Stug. Then secondly, because he had already made another move, his KV-2 could rumble forward and it moved into point-blank range, lining up a side armor shot on my Stug. And guess what? He rolled a 1. Wow, a huge let-off. I was fully expecting that monster to stomp all over me. With that immediate threat paused, I didn't have to deal with the KV-2 straight away, so I shifted my focus to the engineers on my left. 3 of my squads opened up, pouring fire into them. Despite their body armor, needing 6s to kill, I managed to stack pins and even drop a few of them. But they weren't done yet. With their platoon commander nearby, Atacon seized his chance and unleashed that flamethrower at my exposed squad. And rolled another 1, can you believe it? How lucky could I be? At that point, I'll admit, I was beginning to breathe a little bit easier. And then, just to keep things really interesting, my Stug advanced for its own point-blank range shot on the KV-2, and yep, you've probably got it. It rolled a 1. At this stage, it was kind of hard not to laugh. As the turn drew to a close, Atacon brought more pressure to bear on the center. His MMG team and that second engineering squad on the other side of the table, moving up on the central building, we had just positioned a Panzerfaust armed squad as insurance against that KV-2. Everything was now set for a tense turn 4. Turn 4 began, and this time Atacon handed my Germans the first order dice, and I didn't hesitate. It went straight to the squad with the Panzerfaust, now perfectly positioned for a side armor shot on the KV-2.
Feuerschutz übernehmen!
This time, no miracles. The shot hit, and the green monster went up in a towering pillar of fire. That changed everything. On my left, Atacon immediately reacted, pulling his engineers back to deal with my Stug, now the only armored threat on the table. And these weren't just any engineers. Alongside the flamethrower, they were also carrying captured Panzerfausts. I quickly pivoted the Stug to face this new threat, but the return fire fell short. No damage, no casualties. But at least the pressure on my left was easing. As the turn closed, Atacon kept up the momentum elsewhere, continuing his push from the left towards the central building, pressing hard against my grenadiers, still riding high after knocking out that KV-2. In turn 5, Atacon's regulars pushed through to the edge of the ruins, and although that gave him a clear shot at my grenadiers in the open, he was unable to inflict any damage. Sensing the moment, my grenadiers struck back. They surged forward, closing the distance and driving the Soviets out of the ruins. By the end of turn 6, the threat on my left flank had finally been ended. In the center, Atacon's second engineer squad made their move, and whilst they were unable to clear both ruins, they had ensured that the objective remained contested. Okay, Atacon, thank you so much for a very nice game. It's been great to see you again here at Nostramo. And I think we fought to a well-deserved draw because we gave each other a bloody nose, right?
Truly.
Yeah.
Everyone's dying on the center too. Tanks exploding.
Tanks exploding, lots of dead bodies.
Yes, but it's a very fun game today.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you for having me, and until next time, happy gaming.
Happy game.
And with that, it's time to say goodbye to Bangkok and head back to Singapore, where the next episodes are already taking shape. Inspired by a famous colonial battle, I'll be taking Fireteam Elias to the heart of Africa. I'll also be helping Alfred run a mini bolt action tournament at Fireteam Elias, which I plan to share with you here on this channel. And that's not all. I'll be sitting down with my friend Nabil as he introduces us to a rather unusual vehicle, one which you don't often see on the bolt action table. So please do hit that notification button if you want to stay in touch with the action. Thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard.